Welcome to the channel. My name is SV and we are playing Satisfactory Update 5. For those of you that aren't aware, this is a live stream. So I'm actually going to just make sure I've got the chat up. And we're good to go, in case anyone tunes in. Anyway, in this video, by the way, it's like super early in the morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, I want to play some Satisfactory before work starts. So here we are. A few things to note. I built a few foundations here for our upcoming factories, and those are going to be largely around, we'll walk through it, and I'll talk to you about why it's in the shape as it is and all the things. And we'll take a look at our hub factory, or I guess not a factory, our hub station, and how that has evolved in next steps there, because there's a lot going on. So these foundations are going to be, this is going to be copper, that's going to be Caterium, then we'll have concrete, and then over there somewhere we'll have quartz, FYI. But you'll notice that these are longer this way than this one is. You know, for example, that one goes along that way, and it's short on that side, whereas this way we've got short on this side and long on that side. And I'll walk through what that means here just in a moment, but let's take a look at our home base here, which I think has turned out pretty well so far. You may notice I did finish the space elevator parts, so we are now in tiers 7 and 8. We have those available. This I think is a pretty cool solution. So here's like where I want to just dump things because I want to make room for whatever and then come back and then pick up those same things. That's what that is. Over here is, oh, where did those go? Where are those going? I'll show you that in a second. Over here is where I'm going to put the trophies, like the statues, and then some bits of information about various factories throughout. So I just like the way that those glass walls look like that. And then here's the storage. It looks a little bit different than when we last saw it. I took away all the signs, and basically I took every part that's potentially in the game and I put it here all in alphabetical order. So it's super easy to navigate as you're like, okay, I need computers. Where would computers be? Okay, that's a C. It's right here. Concrete right after. Okay, and it's mirrored on the other side where AI limiters are the first here, AI limiters are the first square on that side, and it goes and wraps around that way. And it's literally every single item in the game captured here. It's I think 85 total. Anything that can be like really sorted, 85 total pieces, including things like superposition oscillator, which currently doesn't have a picture and it doesn't have a way to sort, but future proofing, as we know that's likely coming to the game. I got the hub over here, and one thing within the hub is I did finish bauxite refinement, and the reason for that is I want to get to Mark V belts sooner rather than later, so I'll probably end up setting up a mini solution just for this and bringing it in just so that we could start getting Mark V belts and really being fully efficient. Let's see, today is the 9th. Where is 9 on this? There we go. Oh, look at that. Speaking of, that's so funny. Okay, let's actually, that's so funny that that was right there. Hi, Twice Turn, I'm great. How are you? All right, so I like the way that this is coming about so far for our main base, but I have to figure out what I want to do for the sidewalls still, if I just want it to be mirrors or what. And I left this open so that the pod can fly up. I do think that this place looks pretty good. I have these concrete pillars that come up here, and all of these are concrete pillars, which I finally found the trick to getting those to line up the correct way. I'll show you here if I could actually jump. All right, let's take a look here. So, like, let's say I wanted, do I even have the materials? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So let's say I wanted a concrete pillar like that right here, right? So you would place, oh, I can't do beams. Okay, well, anyway. So basically you want to place one of these beam connectors in the exact center of where you want this to start. So as you can see there, it starts at that centerpiece. And then if you wanted it to go like on an angle, you would put one here and then one like here, and then you'd put a beam between them, and then you'd connect the pillar to the beam. I don't have any beams on me otherwise, so I would show you, but that's okay. Well, that's not as an important thing. I could show you that at a different time. Let's take a look at the sorting solution down below, and I was just like, it's not efficient right now, so I'm going to redo the entire setup here soon, but it's going to take 768 smart splitters to do, which is excessive, I know. So we're going down into our subway station here. I also didn't make this one like the cool subway station like we saw over there. I did add bridges here. So we can take a look at the subway station again, see what I'm talking about. So like, obviously a pretty cool subway station over here for our trains to come in. I haven't built that yet on this side, but we will. I wish I had like 10 people in here be like, hey, can you do subways? I'll do the next copper factory, and then I need someone to do sorting and stuff like that. Okay, so materials are coming in. By the way, I built a way for materials to come in from the starter factory. So that's what's happening here. As you can see, we've got things coming in from starter factory. So we're going to look at what this sorting looks like. Okay, so we've got quite a bit coming in. But these are all Mark IV belts. And obviously it can't support all of that because all of that's basically getting sorted into one line. Or not sorted, but merged into one line, and I'll show you that here. I got lost there for a second in my own base. Okay, so all of it comes in and gets merged into one line. This is where those two storage containers are at the opening of my base, where I dump things in and then they get added to the line. I'm thinking maybe that other one on the left also would get merged in at some point. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, as you can see, all the materials are coming in. They get added and sorted in, right? And then they get brought up. I'll show you where they go from there. So they're going to get into our, they come into the base here, and then they come in where, towards the back here by this truck station, which also has the ability to put items onto the line. I'll get rid of those two storage containers. Those don't need to be there. And actually, I think I might not even use the truck stations. I think I might make this second half of this a sorting piece, considering I will have so many different lines coming in, but that's a topic for a different video. So let's go and see where that goes and what that looks like. So coming up here, obviously we've got quite a few smart splitters here, and then the line comes up this way, and it's a pretty simple system. Basically it comes through on this one line, and if that item belongs to one of these smart splitters, it just goes up and continues through. So this snakes, it goes this way, then down this way, then this way, and then that way, and that way, and then when it's finished, when it's finished, it goes this way. And why are these iron plates going this way? Well, iron plates are backed up. That's what that's saying. And so when it gets backed up, it gets added to this line. Where are the iron plates? Oh, no, iron plates are... Oh, iron plates are towards the tail end over there. Okay, never mind. So anything that's backed up comes down this line. And then that is this line right here under the glass. Okay. And then it comes all the way over to this side, whereas you could see it goes up there, and I need a thing there. Obviously I was doing some work. And then basically the exact same thing happens here, where it gets sent around. It starts here, then it goes around and goes around all the way until it comes back and back down. So if that entire storage is full and this entire storage is full, so like all the iron plate containers there, which is just one, are full, and the iron plate container over here is full, then it gets added to this belt, and then it gets just sunk into the awesome sink. So as you can see, we don't have a lot of that going on because that requires 2 full storage containers to be full over here, and then there. So the next solution I'm going to do is, there's 85 storage containers up there. I'm going to do 8 lines of filters. So 8 lines of materials coming up. The train down below has 8 outputs. So if I filter the storage into 8 different lines here, we can maximize based off of the build speed. So that's the plan. All right, let's get some materials and let's start building something. And I'm not going to go back to the starbase as it takes too long, and I haven't yet built a hypertube cannon. Maybe we'll build one off of here into like different locations when we eventually get there. Well, let's get some concrete. Let's get some steel beams. I'm going to take all the concrete. We're going to get some silica for windows. Yep, I got plenty of space. Okay. And silica, I think. Maybe we'll get a few rows of those. All right, we're good. So I really like the way this turned out, and because of clipping, the storage container's there and you can't really see it. I just like the way that looks a lot. All right, let's take one of our cars. So I loaded them all up with fuel. One of them we drove to some place and I think I left it, or I got rid of it. So the idea of these is that they're going to have like blade runners, a xenobasher, all of those things, medical inhalers, the things you would need if you're going out exploring, right? Did I not put fuel on this side? I didn't put fuel in the ones on this side. I only did it on the other side. All right, let's go grab one on the other side. I feel like the base is coming along pretty well. So far, at least. Obviously, a lot more potential. Oh, see, there's additional fuel. Okay, plenty of fuel. So, we're going to basically mirror this iron ingot production, but for copper next. And then, like I said, Caterium after that, concrete after that, and then quartz and silica after that. So we're actually gonna... I'm going to make this a shiny floor all the way around, and I'll probably do the same for the iron factory after some time. I put those walls there as an understanding of the test wall. But let's get some windows going here. Zoop it. Okay. And the reason I did, okay, I'll show you why I did it this way. So there's my train line. Here's my road, right? I meant to talk about this before, so that's why we're going to cover it now. Like the reason why it's not the long way, well, for one, it would intersect with our road, but that's fine. We could have moved it. But check this out. That's why. Oh, and we're probably dead. Oh man. Hey, thanks, Twice Turn. Honestly, it just takes time, you know? Twice said that it's a lot larger than what he's capable of. Oh, I'm almost dead. See, so that's the problem with this, is that it, there's like a death barrier here. And so one of the things I want to do, I'll definitely do this off camera, is find where that barrier is all the way around, and then I'll just put like danger signs there so we don't ever cross it accidentally, like kind of we were just doing. And look, I almost died. So let's get back up into our base here. Oh man, that's deep down there. Little known fact about me, I really don't like the ocean because I just find it to be too big. All right, we're back up. So as you could tell, we shouldn't go that way, and so that's why I couldn't build it out this way. Where was that other one I built? Didn't I build another one? Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about yesterday is like currently this platform is not supported in any single way. Like it's just floating up in the sky. So my plan is each of these factories to be like have support pillars underneath it, and therefore we'd have a whole bunch, because otherwise you have to just figure out like, do I want it every 10 foundations, 20 foundations? What you know, what's our logic here? So I built out this template, and it's 25 foundations wide and 51 foundations long, and that gives us a direct center at the on the length, because that's how, so I want entrances and exits to be on the length side, not on the width side. Although I guess we could do width side as well, but that's not as much my concern as it is on the length side. And we leave 3 foundations as exterior decoration for each factory. Whatever I'm in the mood for, however I want to decorate that particular factory. Got 3 foundations around the entire factory to do that, where everything inside is going to be mirrored to support. So like for example, this copper factory is going to support 52 smelters on each side. So 52 on the, let's see, what sides are we on? So south side and 52 on the north side, so 104 per floor, similar to the iron factory here. And I just want to make sure that I get the exact spacing right here. I have an Excel spreadsheet that basically has these details. That's how I built it. So from the door, it's 1, 2, 3, and then on, so it's 3 as the spacing, and then we're there. So we got to find where the door goes, and then we got to find where that is. I got streets going here. Here I was playing with the idea of having like a median in the middle. You know, sometimes you have it on those big roads where you've got traffic going this way and traffic going this way. So I think I might do that for just this line. I'm not sure. It's going to go nowhere that way because there's another death barrier that way. Alright, so this should be at the 25 mark. Number 26 is where our door would be. So this should be our door. And let's just verify that it's the same the other way. It appears not. How did we mess this up? Oh. It's because it's not that. Got it. I totally forgot that it's 51 on that side, but it's not going to be 51 here because we have -6 on each side. I think we have to add 1 here because I think we may have missed the one that I disconnected. Yeah, so it's 43, meaning we need 21 should be our center. Let's see. No, 22 should be our center. That should be our center. Okay, let's see. So this should be 21 now. And if that's right, then we're golden. Yep. And let's get a door in here because otherwise it's really hard to tell where that is. So there's our center. Okay. And then we are going 3 foundations. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then right here is where we're going to do I'll do these windows. I think these are the ones that we use. And we just do a little bit of 1 foundation border. So this is where I wish I had, I think it's area actions. I tried using area actions and then it crashed on me. Or I was trying to use smart foundations maybe, and it crashed on me. Anyway, I would like to do a copy and paste of that factory and then just drop it here, change all the formulas to copper as it's a literal 1-to-1. When we do like Caterium, obviously it won't have the exact same, it'll have the same footprint, but it won't have the same inside layout. Okay, so just to confirm, I want to double check here. Yeah, so we've got how am I gonna figure? I think I have enough for smelters. Nope, no wire. So let's get some wire so we could add smelters in. Lights are really nice looking, but damn if they aren't. Oh, by the way, this is a way to get down into the sorting floor as well, which I like. I'll probably do a version of that for here as well, somewhere. And I was thinking actually like potentially down into here. So we'll see. Where did it come? Oh, wire. So yeah, sorting solution, that's steel, so that's S still, so wires on the end. It may not always be the most efficient, but it does the job for you to find it pretty quick, you know? And so now we're going to build our first line want to say, okay, let's look at it from this perspective. I want to say it's like 2 to the side, and then 3 deep is where the first smelter goes. Let's see. So 1, 2 to the side, 1, 2, 3 deep. Yep. That's exactly right. And this is going to produce like 6,280 iron ingots per minute. Well, that's what that produces. This is going to produce copper ingots, obviously. 6,280 copper ingots per minute. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, smelter goes here. Like that. And then after that, it's literally 1 every single tile. Until it gets to the last foundation here. So this should be 13 wide. That should be 13 smelters. 13. Okay, that's half of 1 row of smelters. And then, so we do, so it's this side for belts, this is a walkway, this side for belts, so the next one goes here. And if you hold the snap button, it makes it super easy to just snap to the 2 axes, I guess, here. Okay, same thing here. Belt, walkway, belt. So it's belt, walkway, belt. So it should be this one. And this should work out pretty perfectly. When you have a good template like this, it makes building repeats of this so much faster. And then it's really just the piece that takes longest is the aesthetic. And just be careful when you do place them. Sometimes when it does misalign, you could really mess up your entire thing. Belt, space, belt. Here. Yep. And then it should be mirrored. Okay, so let's look. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3. It's mirrored. And then this gives us 52 smelters on this side. We do the same on the other side there, and easily have a solid starting solution for I think that's too far. Okay, yeah, that's right. So I always like to measure it out. And I'll end up using Mark IVs here. It's going to be a hell of a day when we switch everything to Mark Vs. This is assuming Mark V belts. So we're future-proofing this factory. It can't support the intake right now of any sort of materials from us because the highest we have is Mark IVs that go at 480 items per minute on the belt, and these will support, I think, 780 for Mark Vs. So I know this is a little bit of a tedious piece, but you got to do it. This is why I've been live streaming these a little bit more, so if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, you know, hit that subscribe button so you could see when I go live. I think that's probably how it works. I honestly don't know how YouTube works with the go live stuff, but makes it easier to do some of these videos as I don't have to like re-upload them later and any of that stuff. And honestly, it's a smaller hit to my CPU as I'm playing, which means the frame rate looks better and therefore the quality of the video I think is a little bit better as well. So, and it gives you the opportunity to pop in and we could just hang out and chat if you happen to be watching while I live stream, like Twice Turn popping in here and saying hi, which I super appreciate. But really, I just want to sit down and play this game and really build a giant-ass factory. And I'm excited. I was laying in bed, as you do when you're playing this game, thinking of future solutions, and was thinking like, ooh, we are not far away from drones. And imagine what we could do with drones. Like, I'm just thinking of having like a battery factory built somewhere and having drones deliver the battery factory to, or deliver batteries to other various drone ports just to have materials delivered all around. I'm thinking instead, like, I'm thinking we'll use trains as the raw material input, and then we'll take drones and have drones be our solution for completed materials between factories. How cool would that look when you see a whole bunch of drones flying around, I feel like. It's going to be a very power-hungry base. We're going to have to get into nuclear sooner rather than later, and I think I might have to build another major power plant. It's like ours right now is way more than enough, but think of when we have these two factories alone fully kicked up. Not to mention our starter factory, which is a decent size for what it is. By the way, a little tip here, when you build stuff like this, it's always easier to go from the output of the machine down into this, as like the aligning here is weird, and then you don't know which way it's going to favor. So instead of having to turn things all the time, it's just easier to do it this way. The things you learn when you do hundreds of these. Iron Factory has 208 smelters so far, and it's built to be expandable so we can go up more floors. Same thing with this. It's built to be expandable. And we'll look at what the sorting looks like for that, because goodness, it is wild down below. Oh, almost missed one. And once you get this set up and you get one side of it going, you could immediately start working on trains. I think I'm going to make this a single level copper factory for now, with the intent of adding a second level at some point. But what I really want to start doing is actually working on parts production versus just smelting. So I'm thinking like iron plates, rods, screws, sheets, wire, cable. See that one. Nope. There we go. I want to start working on those parts because I think that's going to be a much more fun endeavor than this stuff. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 over 1, 2, 3. Should be right here. 2, 3. Yep. So we'll build this first floor, and then the difference is I have yet to do the math on Caterium, concrete, because those are not a 30 to 30 ratio. And that's what this is built off of, the assumption of 30 to 30. But it's also built to scale. So even if it's not fully, 30 to 30, like, you could just build up, So if you only build half of it on one floor, that's fine. Or actually, you know what? Like, each of these lines is a full 780 belt. So that's two 780 belts supporting that. And we're going to have two more 780 belts here. So that's four full Mark V belts supporting this. With Caterium, if we really wanted to, we could do like each side is a full 780 belt. And then the next four, one side is 780, one side is 780, that kind of a thing. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3. Smelter goes here. So see what I mean? When you have a plan, it's a lot easier to just be like, okay, we're just going to mirror it. And it just took a little bit of time. I sat down one time in Excel and just decided to put it together just on a grid to understand layout and dimensions and what works. And this is meant to be able to also support 1, 2, 3, so it should be here. This is meant to support things like manufacturers, constructors, assemblers, all of that stuff. I didn't factor in Blender because I forgot about Blender and I didn't have it at that time. But I believe the footprint is largely similar to a manufacturer, so it should be okay. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're good. 1, 2, 3. So it should be there. And yeah, a lot of like pre-work to get this up and running. And I don't even know where the closest copper node is around here. So we're gonna have to find that and build a train network to it. Which also reminds me that iron setup that we've got going over there to supply our iron factory, that needs to be fleshed out and built into a real factory instead of just the temporary solution we've got. And there's also concrete or limestone there so that we can actually get two separate train networks going into that. How are we building? Are they overhanging on this side or that side? Looks like they're overhanging on the back side. Like that. It doesn't really matter, we've got plenty of walking space on both sides. Normally only care about the overhangs when you have limited space about overhangs and like walking situations, and if you're going to run into a different, like if you're going to intersect belts or something. We've got, as you can tell, plenty of space to sort and work through all of this. I just think this looks super clean once it gets finished. We haven't painted the floors white yet. It's why I have explorers on the ready, because moving between these factories is going to be no joke. And I think we might have to build a hypertube network to bop between some of them eventually. So right now, it's either walking or driving, and both take a little while. But if we're going to build a hypertube network, maybe we build it in the vein of Futurama, where it's above ground and stuff like that. Make this a futuristic factory. Especially, I guess, oh, that looks so cool when we have drones flying about. Right. We're almost done with our copper factory. For now. As far as material, like, you know, the actual logistics of it. I really hope this was, yeah, okay, that lines up. I was like, oh my god, what if I built all of those and they're too close? One of these days I'd like to sit down and do some design pieces, but maybe that's when we finally get some, oh my goodness, finally get these factories like producing something. The iron factory is up and running. It's been backed up for ages, and we've got 2 floors full of iron ingots, and because it's been backed up, each of the smelters is holding, I think, 200 in it. So when we kick that off, it is absolutely going to be saturated on the belts. And hopefully by that point, maybe we have Mark 5s? I don't know. It has, I have not built Mark 5 belts since the changes with the blender and stuff like that, so I know it requires a little bit more work than it once did. So we'll have to figure that out. And I'll probably legitimately, honestly, do like a super small setup with a singular small train to go bring materials like dedicated from there into the base, so that we have belts at the ready. And then we'll expand that at a later date, likely bringing in, like, that's one that's a little bit weird because it requires, I think, water. I don't remember what else it requires with the revisions to the refinement of bauxite, but I remember requiring water, which makes it not as easy to build in a giant base like this, although that's all water. It's all water underneath us right now. So depending, but using refineries and stuff like that, the layout that I'm using here wasn't built for a refineries style factory. That's going to have to be its own flavor. So we'll tackle that as it comes up. If we decide to build Mark 5 belts, those aluminum sheets in our town, or if it ends up being a little outpost outside of town and we bring in materials, I'm not sure. All right. So we have all of these. Let's see here. I want to find the direct center of this for a number of reasons. So that's 15, so we want 7. 7, this is our center. And we'll put a door there. And we'll put a door there. And we'll put one here. Basically, if you've got doors kind of throughout like this, it makes it so much easier to... Okay, so in the iron factory, we built, like, I used a small wall, and I did 4 small walls so that we could have like alternating between 2 different materials. But guess what? I really don't want to do that level of design right now. If later on we want to do a design pass and add it in, great. But not right now. I should have built these first, because if you're building it from the inside, you can basically just turn around and build it all the way around you, but you don't have to run around like I'm doing here. But it's not too bad. Okay, so that's not yet tall enough. Wait, is... Okay, yeah, the next level is the one I want. Alright, so the next level is going to be another door, because this is where our catwalk will be. And I like to put a door here. And as you can tell, a little bit of method to my madness here, but we'll replace these with doors in the future as well. And then my thought is, since these are basically all going to be the same height, I can have catwalks going from up here into the other factories as well, which will look really cool when it's all up and running and you just have like these bridges and walkways. Like I could have a bridge from over there into here if I wanted to. Okay. So similarly, let's plan this out. Yep. And then this is going to be the top, so that's where this kind of stops. And we'll look at that in a second. Yep. Just putting some little final touches on that. And the reason is I want to put a walkway between here and basically just do the layout like I do in the iron factory. So moving over to architecture. It's these two first. They shouldn't be. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't know, sometimes it says it's overlapping with something and that makes me nervous. Shit, let's look to see what this looks like. So I built it in such a way that makes it super easy to navigate up and down. See, I gotta put curbs around everything. I've got to do sidewalk painting. There's a lot of aesthetic things. I want to do street signs. I want to do all of that stuff. Okay, so it's literally walkways to this, and it's to, yep, corner and then up. Okay. We got a train below that basically is full, and it just keeps sitting there and beeping. There's really no place to go. It's full of iron ingots, and there's no destination to utilize iron ingots at. Okay, so we'll do catwalk. And this is going to be, I think it's still those, because here we have 2. And it's that, and then it's this. Yep. That, and then here we basically just go all the way to the edge. Like so, and then here it's going to be that way, and then here it's going to be all the way here. Just trying to remember the layout for the iron factory. I'm like pretty confident this is the way we had it built. I'll finish that when we get over to that side, but here it's a double wide. that. And we know that these have to be here. Okay. This is the up, and this is the down. That's the down. Okay, and then it's again mirrored exactly the same. Like, it's when you build it. Oh, okay. So we got some clipping going on here. We overextended our build there. Yeah, when you build these things to a template, it makes it so easy to mirror. And really just do this super quick. And like I said, I've said this before, well, what a great podcast game to sit down and just be like, I'm going to listen to my favorite podcast or have a movie on the other screen and then just build out the design of this factory. Oh, and we are out of iron rods and plates. Let's go get some more. But overall, like, that's our iron factory more or less complete. I'll build out the first floor. Maybe that's the better way to do it, is like build out one floor at a time, and then obviously we can add additional ones, but like, holy hell, is it a lot to build like a 2-floor version like this. Okay, iron is the second row. How much space do I have? And it looks like iron rods is what I need the most of. We left our Explorer over there. Wouldn't it be handy if we were actually driving that around? I was debating whether I want to add like a parking spot in front of each of my buildings, and I think I am going to do that. Like, I'm thinking of, you know, I don't know, like right here or something as like my parking spot. I don't know. That's definitely an aesthetic touch that can be added later, not a 911 right now. I mean, all of this, not a 911. If I really wanted this factory to be up and running, I'd be working on belts right now. We'll tackle that side second, because I'll put the walls up first before I put... Oh my god, that's just annoying. Sometimes Zoop, like, why does it favor backwards? In what instance am I building backwards? Easy. So we're almost done with copper as far as the design. And then obviously belt work needs to come in at some point soon, meaning in the sorting floor. And then train. The train stuff is the part that kills me most. Like, it's so tedious to build train lines, I feel like. I should clarify there. Because I need them to be relatively efficiently mapped, I find it to be tedious. And my clicks are on point. I've been playing a little bit of Destiny, so maybe I'm starting to get back into the groove of actually having some great hand-eye coordination. I gotta say, the movement speed in this game with the Blade Runners is so fast. I jumped back into Destiny and I was playing it just, yesterday? It's the new anniversary pack came out. I'm like, man, why is this game so slow? Because this slide and jump like this is so fun. It's a good thing we have, I mean, all things considered, infinite materials. So everything can get produced infinitely, as long as we don't run out of power. So like having 15,000 concrete on you at any given time is kind of outrageous if you think about it, but super cool. Alright, let's get up here. We'll put that. We'll complete the walkway here. Wait for autosave. Drink some coffee while we're at it, because it's still 8:22 in the morning over here when I'm building this. Soon got to start getting ready for work. I work from home, so it makes it super easy to. I've been getting up like super early. I'm up at 6 a.m. every day, but makes it super easy to get everything done in the morning and have a little bit of free time. Relax a bit before you kick off the day and really get started into the various meetings and all the fun things that happen when you work from home. I'm basically sitting in front of this computer like 12 to 16 hours a day probably for work and for gaming. Alright, so we've got that added. I'm going to add windows now to this side so that we just have the wall at least as tall as what that's going to be. And then we'll figure out next steps after that. I think I have some plastic on me, so we should be able to build the next floor up there, aka the ceiling of this one, but the floor of the next one. Sometimes I'll stand here and I'll do all 4 floors like that, and sometimes I'll just run around. Right now I'm feeling a little bit of running around. Alright. Move and hydrate regularly? Absolutely. Although I'm very bad at hydrating. I like drink no water. I basically run on coffee. Oh, one short. You see, Twice Turn, how easy it is to build a mega factory? There's nothing to it. It's all about the initial plan, I found. The moment you start winging it is when you're probably going to redo some parts later on. Like, I've redone the train lines because I was winging it at some point. We're not going to look at them now. You're going to see them, I'm sure, at some point down the line when we're tackling. I'm probably actually just thinking about it right now. I probably will redo the train lines once again at some point to build a little bit more efficiency. We are going to build this factory's train lines in mind with that. It's usually how it goes, where I'm sitting there thinking about it. How would I do this more efficiently? How would I do this more efficiently? And then in the next factory, I'll incorporate it, and then retrofit the other ones after. Okay, so that's the top floor of our factory. It looks like we still need a concrete wall up here. Yeah. So Twice Turn says his problem is, or their problem is, sorry, I shouldn't assume, that they like to restart when they find something else new that works. I do the same thing, except this is my playthrough where I've decided I'm going to stop doing that. And that's why I'm really doing this YouTube series, because otherwise I just literally do that exact thing and then nothing ever gets done because I never make it into higher tiers, and here we go. So new to oil, know how it works, then restart to implement it properly. Yeah, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Just destroy it and rebuild it. You know? It's the beauty of this, is all of the materials are free. You get all of it back. Exactly as you paid for it. It just takes so long to get back to the spot. That's the piece. Like, you get to oil, you learn how to do oil, then you restart your game to get, but then to properly get back to oil, holy hell, it takes so long. Nice, Twice says they're not restarting this time. Hell yeah. Alright, foundations. We're doing good old boy glossies. Why you would use a different foundation, I don't know. I like the asphalt for the roads, obviously, but glossy, ooh, it looks so good. Especially when you're on the factory floor. Get out of here, you know? Just give myself a little barrier so that I don't fall off accidentally. Just, I mean, I still have the possibility, but you know, I like to do things this way. Makes it so easy, and I don't have to worry about falling off, and I know where my marks are and all of that stuff. Remember when we didn't have zooping? How did we live? Ooh, and look at that click, it was so on point. A pretty quick way to build out a roof. Done and done. P.S. Don't mind my spelling, not an English native. Hey, no worries, man. You're okay. You're doing a great job. We're going to make this one of these for now, and that'll change. When we add a second floor. Just preemptively getting ahead of it, you know? Oh, no, it's not that one. It's this one because it's got to connect to that side. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, it takes a long time to build one of these, but think about the production that's coming out of this. We're going to have so many materials being produced, and if we're building this correctly, it should be scalable basically infinitely, because like we can just go up. And then I'm going to leave the middle open because I think that looks so freaking cool when we have the middle open. And this one is still that, and then this is this way. And yeah, we'll do that there for now, as we're not going to build stairs up yet. I don't want it to look like there's another floor when there really isn't another floor. I mean, you could walk around up here if you wanted to. And don't forget, it's like a two tile or one tile sorting floor. I can't remember how I built it. I want to say it's 2. Allowing us to sort all the materials that are going to go into the next level above us. We still got to run power here. We still got to run catwalks on the inside of these. And I leave sorting and the splitter situation, all of that, not quite the end. I get that set up before I get trains set up. Trains are absolutely the end. I'll build a train before I even build a location for the train to go to, before I even find the copper nodes for it. And in this instance, so far we need 4 pure copper nodes, which all of our nodes are pure, but 4 copper nodes to support this one factory here. Easy. Look at that. Okay, let's add our walkway to this side. Stopped at 1 early. While we're at it, let's add that. And like zooping is great, but sometimes it really just doesn't make sense the way it chooses which way to go. It's like our town is coming together. This is building number 3. We're going to have 5 total buildings after we complete the smelting pieces. And that's just smelting, well, concrete and quartz and like silica. That's not smelting, but you know what I mean. The refinement from raw to something part of the town. And it's going to span basically all the way up to our starter base. I didn't build it on that side because we're clipping through with the moth flight path. So we might build like mini little factories on that side. I haven't decided what I want over there yet. Yeah, I haven't decided how we're going to tackle that view yet. Like I kind of want... I had this idea of having the moth be a pet in some way of ours, even though obviously you can't capture it, but having it be in like an aquarium. Think of like it like inside of an aquarium, so you're walking by or you're going by a train and it's behind glass, and maybe the train path follows the flight path so that occasionally you're going to be right there with the moth. I don't know. Just a thought I had. We'll see how that goes. So it got substantially darker in here, and that's why lights are going to be required, but they are one of the biggest pain in the ass things for me to build, I find. I just wish they were smaller. They're so freaking big. And again, it's one of those aesthetic choices. Right now I'm running a mod that makes it permanent day, which is nice for when I'm playing and capturing stuff for YouTube and we're looking at what the build looks like, because sometimes in the dark it's damn impossible to see. And also it gets so bright in the room that I record in that it can be really difficult for me to see on the monitor myself, so it makes it just easier and more efficient for me to build this way. But that also means we don't really get to see the lights in full effect, you know? Coffee break. Oh, that'd be actually a good way to keep track of like when you should drink water and stuff. Set the autosave timer to like 30 minutes and be like, every 30 minutes I'm gonna drink some water. Alright, we got the walkway up on one side here. Do it on the other side, and then we'll start wiring it up for power. And I have yet to decide how I want to bring power to all the factories, so they're all currently just randomly connected via what looks like power poles on the street. I like the idea of power poles on the street. I almost want them to be an aesthetic choice instead of actually providing power. But I want it to be... I want to be able to control from my base, my hub building, the power to any one of these factories. Twice Turn says he does the 15-minute autosave. Oh my god. Damn it. And does the water breaks at that time as well. So there's something to it. We're on to something. Ugh. I hate when stuff like this happens and you really just get all messed up. The nice thing about things being free to dismantle. I guess I just have to take my time with zooping like this and not overcommit to the click. It's like when you're right by the item, that's when it becomes a problem. You only have to put one down. I guess I should just switch it to not that. Okay. Next up, architecture, metal beams. Okay, so the way I line these up to connect power to them is I basically stand in line with this and that, and then we're going to line it up to that point. And when you have it at 40 meters, that's the maximum length that it can go. And this actually just turns out to be, I believe, exactly 120 meters. Or it stops there for whatever reason. I'm not sure which it actually is. I've not really measured it out, but that seems to work for me. So 40 meters. See? Easy. All right. There we go. We're just cranking this out. Some of my favorite parts are also painting the floors with paths and all of that. It feels good to just like put down a cool path. All right, and then we literally, oh man, we have no cable. How embarrassing. Well, let's put the beams up for the other side, and then we'll go and get some cable as that's on that side anyway. I do metal beams, maybe painted beams for a future factory, and have like white beams. Ooh, that feels like it would be cool. My autosave is set to every 15 minutes also. It was just autosaving way too frequently, and that few second pause, you know, what a detriment to my efficiency in building, right? So expand it to 15 minutes, and so far so good. I haven't had the game crash on me, knock on wood. I am running Windows 11, so things are a little bit finicky sometimes with some games, but honestly, it's been overall pretty good. Rift Breaker of note has been the biggest problem. I haven't played that much really, and obviously I haven't played much of anything else really but Satisfactory, as you could tell by the size of this factory. But, you know, when you sometimes get in the moods for certain games, and you're just all about it, I'm in that mood now on this, and I love being in that mood for Satisfactory, because to me this is one of my all-time favorite games ever made. It's really weird how windows work in this, right? How they're transparent, but they also kind of look like opaque at times, so I'm not sure. Alright, cable's right here. How are we looking on cable? Oh, we got plenty. Good job, starter base. Got the materials basically to build whatever we want to build. I have no idea how long it's going to take for that stuff to fill up. Also, I gotta say, we are getting tickets galore. That starter base was doing some real work for a very long time while we were building all of this. I think the last I checked, we had like 57 tickets sitting there, and I've already purchased one of the statues, so we're doing great. Alright, and now it's time for power. I realize we also haven't set recipes yet on this, so after power on this side, we'll set the recipes to copper for this factory. Okay. Super easy to line up. You just basically line it up and go straight up, and then it has a nice clean look when all of them are attached to this pole, to the steel beam. And then we run the wiring along the outside, so it all gets connected on the outside. I'm sure you saw it on the iron factory, but we're going to do it here in the copper one as well. I haven't looked at the ratios for Caterium. I want to say it's like 45 is the input. I think I'll do it so that we have an output of 780. That's going to be my barometer for everything. So like a floor could, I don't care what the input is, because we could always split, or we could also add belts if we need to. Like if I needed a single belt for each of these in order for the output to be 780, that's what I would do. But I want the output of each material to have a full maximum 780 belt. Okay, I don't know why I walked over to this side to do this, but let's just... Copper and iron are easy in that respect, as it's a 780 in and a 780 out. So, you know, 4 780 belts per side of a factory equals 4 780 outputs of those materials for iron and copper. But Caterium, concrete, quartz, silica, those are all going to be different. And like I said, we'll just build it with the assumption that 780 of materials is coming out, and then figure what the input is required, and that's what the sorting floor below is for. Which this factory currently doesn't even have a floor below this floor. It's just hovering above water. Look how clean this looks. I love how clean this looks though. I could use Mark IIIs or whatever in these power pieces, but I really don't like when it's... Okay, you really struggling on this one? Okay, thank you. I really don't like when you see multiple lines going all over the place. And I kind of want this to be concrete also. So we'll change all those doors at some point, but that's not a priority. Okay, so then next step, I like to put a beam this way. Does it intersect? I can't tell. Or am I too high? I want to say it. Okay, there. So we're going to put a beam this way. I stopped that one a little bit early because, well, I guess I didn't have to. I could have intersected there. I'm going to go all the way around. Here's where it gets finicky when you're super close to it. It gets a little finicky. Beams are easier to manage when you're from a distance. See, like I can say that. And like, is it smart enough to not clip through? Yeah. It's weird that it does that. That it has that stop. I mean, I appreciate it, but it is weird that it stops you like that. Okay. And the reason we're building this is because I want it... Yeah, those are fine. I could build like seams into here. Maybe we do that at some point, but yeah, Not sure. The reason I do this is because I want power to be run like so. So those two are connected, and then, oh, we need this beam here still. Oh, my stomach's growling. I didn't have breakfast today. I normally don't, but the stomach is definitely thinking, hey, we should have breakfast today. Over here, where's the top? So we're gonna do power there. Yep, that's perfect. This one's a little finicky always. Did I get it right on the first try? Hell yeah. And so I run power like that so that we could basically just run power like this. And now that all will have power. And then we just run this one to here, here, and there, same thing. And we definitely do overkill, where I'll do this, this, and we kind of don't need it on this side, right? But right here is where a door will go. Walls. I need to be better about building hotbars, but whatever. Got bigger fish to fry, right? Do we have one on this corner? Yeah, we do. So we're going to take this one with us down to here. To the center, and then I think the power node goes right there. Perfect. And then repeat on this side. And when you have them up like this, you can't really see that some of these lines are crossing, which that's the part that I really like. Slash, a lot of that stuff is on the way. You don't have all of these dangling lines above you. So yeah, here it's overkill because we are connecting this to this, but it's symmetry is what we're really doing. So you can see how I built the iron factory. I built it basically exactly the same way. And here's the copper one in that same vein. I'm looking at the time. I think it's about time for us to call the video here because I gotta start getting ready for work. I'm enjoying this little morning stream though. I might do these a little bit more frequently. If you didn't catch it live, obviously everything goes up as a video on the channel, but yeah, that's how you build that copper piece. We'll do the same on that side, set the recipes, and then after that, it's sorting. Well, thanks so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll